What's going on, guys? Okay, this is already 1,000 days of faith that I'm going to pump on the inside of you so you can go out and accomplish what God wants done in your life this year. God has a will for you personally. God has a will for the nation. God has a will for your family. He has a will for your children. But I want to narrow it down and focus on what your task and what your assignment is. Because time is very short, Jesus is coming soon, and we are going to be held accountable for what we do here on this earth. There's something called the Great White Throne Judgment. And what that is that Jesus is going to call all the believers, and we are going to give an account. And what excuse can you give God? God, I didn't have enough time to do what you wanted me to do. God, I didn't have enough money. God, I have this family that I needed to take care of. Is that going to be a good enough excuse for you not to accomplish what he created you to do? Is that how you're going to steward the time that you've been given here on this earth? No, there is no good enough excuse for you not to complete and do what he has commanded, commissioned, and assigned you to do. And what God has assigned you to do, he has given you the power to do so. That means there should be no obstacle. There should be no hindrances. There should be no devil in hell that's able to stop you from accomplishing what God wants done in your life. And during this beginning of the year, what all believers are doing around the world is what's called prayer and fasting. And I dove into it in the video that I posted yesterday. And I'm going to continue talking about this during the next 21 days because I want you to understand the power that there is in prayer and fasting. Mark chapter 9, verses 14 all the way down to verses 29. And in this account, there is a man that needed deliverance from his son. And the son had a mute spirit. And whenever the disciples tried to cast out this devil, the boy would be thrown into a convulsion where he'd bite his teeth and act like some sort of animal with rabies. And when the man approached Jesus, he said, listen, your disciples tried and they couldn't do it. Jesus didn't say, he's like, oh yeah, it's because only I have the power. No, he got ticked off. He said, you faithless generation, how much longer should I be with you? Jesus was annoyed in the fact that they weren't cast out and deal with this devil. So what did Jesus do? He went, casted out the devil, and then said this in verse 29 of that same chapter. He told them, he said, this kind cannot come out by anything except by prayer and fasting. There are certain things in your life that you will not be able to accomplish without by fasting and prayer. And being dead center in the will of God is one of those things. There are things that require spiritual intervention. Fasting is a way to show God humility, showing him your dependency, showing him your need for him, and fasting always produces breakthrough. You can go far in this life just by following your intellect. You can go far in this life just by following the advice of others. You can go far by piggybacking off of the success of other people. But there are things that you will not be able to overcome unless you seek intentional divine intervention from God. Fasting causes God to intervene in your life. This is why we separate time at the beginning of the year to consecrate our lives to God by humbling and denying our body's most desired trait, which is food, to seek his will and to seek his intervention. This is what the Apostle Paul meant in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, that I discipline my body just like an athlete, that I'm not just shadow boxing, that I myself will not be disqualified from what I teach and from what I preach. Fasting is a way to humble your flesh and to feed your spirit. And it's not just fasting, because if you fast without prayer, if you fast without reading the word, all you're doing is going on a hunger strike. What you must be doing is fasting, denying the flesh, what it wants the most, and prayer, which is seeking his will, communicating with God, believing for breakthrough here in your life. Fasting and prayer is a weapon that Jesus taught to the disciples to get breakthrough. Maybe you've been stuck in 2024 at a specific level. Maybe already in 2025, you need increase and expansion in your life. What is the theme of this year? The theme of this year is a year of unprecedented breakthrough. A year where you see God as Baal Perazim, the God of the breakthrough. And if you're going to have dependency upon him to give you that breakthrough this year, you're going to have to get uncomfortable and do something different. You're going to have to seek him, seek his hand, seek his will, and seek his intervention. And that can be done by fasting and prayer. So as you fast in these next 21 days, Go with that in mind, that things are going to break. Be specific in what you're believing God for, and watch what He's going to do in your life throughout the remainder of this year. You're going to have the greatest year that you've ever had in Jesus' mighty name. I see breakthrough in business. I see breakthrough in family. I see breakthrough in your children. This is going to be a year where the heathen are going to recognize God's hand upon your life. So go out and crush it, and I'm going to see you tomorrow morning. God bless.